Hey friends, today's video is discussing the threaded Specter nerf. I'm going to call it clone in this case. The recent article, Destiny Update 8.0, mentioned that they increased the cooldown of Marksman Dodge and Gambler's Dodge when threaded Specter is equipped. Note that Acrobat Dodge is not there. They removed a dodge cooldown penalty after creating clone. If the clone is destroyed by attacks and no longer spawns threadlings, I'm going to rephrase that so it makes sense here. If the opponent breaks the clone by shooting it or throwing an ability or something, no threadlings release. But if they walk on top of it and trigger the proximity detonation, then threadlings do release. The clone still lingers for about 10 seconds, and if you use the balance of power exotic boots, that's adding an extra 8 seconds. Let's talk about the dodge cooldowns. So without the threaded Specter aspect, put anything you want there. A marksman's dodge with 10 mobility, 17 seconds, gambler's dodge 23 seconds, and acrobat dodge 48 seconds. If you add the threaded Specter to it, well then here's what happens. Your clone marksman, 28 seconds. It adds 11 seconds. Then we have gamblers with clone, 38 seconds. It adds 15 seconds. And then we have acrobat dodge, which is still the same 48 second. And bonus, if you die during the acrobat dodge, the clone lingers, but the dodge charge isn't used. So very useful. With all of this in mind, effectively these changes will likely make players choose one of the following routes. Number one is they continue running the exact same meta prism loadout they were running before, which involved probably Knucklehead Radar or Stompies with Smoke and Swarm. They would run no strength whatsoever, put all of it into intellect and discipline, and then anytime they had a swarm, they would dodge near you, throw a smoke and a swarm, and that's the playstyle. That will likely still be the best, but then exotic armor combos that involve something like Bakris or maybe a dodge-based thing like Gemini Jester, those will probably be too long a cooldown to justify running it with Gambler's Dodge. Maybe you could still get away with Marksman's Dodge. So that's the first route. The second route is to pivot from Gambler to Marksman's Dodge. So in the case here, with Balance of Power, previously I would run it with Gambler's Dodge and not run any strength whatsoever so I could have more of a grapple or a swarm cooldown. Now, all I'm going to do is just switch from Gamblers to Marksman and then switch my discipline to strength. Very simple change. It also might be worth pivoting from swarm to grapple and also use Facet of Solitude so that with certain weapons, you can make a tangle from just achieving your normal time to kill. This will also proc wall hack, so it's a nice synergy there. And then finally, this is what brings us to today's video. The third route is using something like Acrobat Dodge and Clone at the same time, since Acrobat Dodge doesn't receive the Clone cooldown nerf. And so since I'm already on a Radiant Dodge, you want to pair it with weapons like Jorum's Claw that benefit from the time to kill change. So for example, this is normally at least a 3-burst kill, but with Radiant Dodge, it is now a 2-burst kill, reaching a 0.6. And I know compared to Elsie's rifle's 0.67, that's not that much to write home about, but you also got to consider other weapons, like P-Spawn. P-Spawn is so deadly on controller with Radiant Dodge. And you can run that with anything you want. Duality, a sniper rifle, anything. I wanted to make today's video before Iron Banner goes away to give you a heads up to maybe get some Skulking Wolf weapons, because Skulking Wolf, when combined with the clone, is crazy. It's like having an infinite distance balance of power, which for those who don't know what that exotic does, I messed this up in the last video I talked about it. Let's say I drop the clone right here. On the enemy screen, the only radar ping is going to be this. And then for about a 15-meter radius, as long as it says hidden right here, I can like peek the main lane when they expect me to be far away. They're not even going to be looking down this lane because their radar ping is somewhere over there. I can just slide it, get a free chow, and they're probably not looking at me. Or even simpler, I put the clone, let's say, far away, and then I start moving up close with my shotgun. They see the radar ping far away, but I'm close with the shotgun. So that's the idea with those clone boots. Skulking Wolf can effectively help you do a similar thing, where you use your clone as the radar ping they see, and then go on an adventure with Skulking Wolf and either be far away from your clone and they roll up to your clone with a shotgun, or be far away from your clone and use your own shotgun to show up close to them, and so forth. I think the best Skulking Wolf weapon is Multi-Mock, followed by P-Spawn, Kramil's Dagger, Jorum's Claw, Lethal Abundance, Claws of the Wolf, Frontier's Cry, and Hero's Burden. If we're considering Facet of Solitude, let's talk about the best Radiant combos that also help Facet of Solitude. The best one would be Heliocentric with either Kill Clip or Precision Instrument. This will help reduce the time to kill with Radiant, and then make it even better of a crit body shot ratio with either Kill Clip or Precision Instrument. Either is a good choice. Next one would be, I already mentioned it, Multi-Mock. You can get your Tangle from just achieving your time to kill and your wall hacks, and you might proc Skulking Wolf. It is fantastic. Of course, Eruption game mode plays against all of that. Next one is Thorn, regular time to kill. You proc Facet of Solitude, and with Radiant, you can use the Soul Devourer perk, whatever the Thorn perk is, to 2-tap very cleanly. Luna's Howl is worth mentioning, but it is res gated. You get 1 stack of Magnificent Howl, proc Radiant, and then you can 2-tap. Crimson is also resilience gated. It's around the mid resilience, so you'll still dunk on most hunters who have 2 resilience. Suros Regime's a good pick. A low mag 120 RPM hand cannons like Kramil's Dagger, the stasis one that you can't obtain anymore, combined action, etc. You could also pull DFA from your collections if you want something with a low magazine that's a 140, although Radiant doesn't really help with that. I don't recommend using Hawkmoon if you got it, because now that you are probably going Marksman's Dodge or Acrobat Dodge and Dragon Shadow or something like that, it's really difficult to manage that magazine and not throw away your perk. Though if you had Hawkmoon stack times 5 in proc Radiant, maybe you can 1-tap or 2-tap. I'm not 100% sure what exactly those res gates are, but I'm not going to worry about it because I don't want to deal with that reload interaction. If you have the exotic class item with Dragon Shadow, you might want to consider some Radiant combos. I know I did a video with the Aisha's Care Pulse rifle that achieves a 0.47 time to kill. You could very simply use Ace of Spades. You could use the handling buff of Ophidian or Dragon Shadow to use something like a Glaive, Grenade Launcher, Ariana's Vow, and clean it up with another weapon or a Magnetic Grenade. You could use the Bastion Fusion Rifle with Radiant to reduce the amount of bolts to kill on a certain Fusion Rifle frame or Bastion. Finally, since we are talking Iron Banner weapons, I want to talk about Jorum's Claw rolls. I don't think you need to break your back going for a perfect 4 out of 5. I like Moving Target, second best perk, Iron Grip, third best perk, Encore, and then after that, they're all pretty much the same. Gut Shot didn't make too much of a difference on my duels. I wasn't really aiming for the body anyway, so it didn't make much sense. And then the final perk is going to be either Kill Clip or Golden Tricorn, and if you get everything else perfect, then Head Seeker. Ideally, you're aiming for the head anyway. I know against better opponents or something, you might get flinched, you might hit a body because you can only see their leg or something like that. Yeah, Head Seeker does make a difference, but when I was reviewing the footage, I mathed out the exact shot damage, and it didn't even make a difference on anything except for a 10 Resilience Titan at a specific range. So Head Seeker's not doing a lot on this. Maybe it makes your shot easier with the aim assist increase, but I'm telling you, I like Kill Clip because I can manually extend the damage booster way later into the second fight, which helps me retain my 2 burst. Next thing to mention is Arrowhead Break. I do like the 100 recoil direction, but it's not a deal breaker if you have enough stability. It doesn't even matter. So if you can go something like Small Bore, Ricochet, and a Stab, Masterwork, you don't need Arrowhead. But if you land Arrowhead with none of the stability stuff, all you gotta do is just pull down predictably. So with all of this being said, was Clone nerfed enough? It might have been nerfed too much, and I would even say that something like Balance of Power Boots maybe deserve to have a reduced cooldown so you can use the clone more often. Clone has so many things baked into it that it had to be hit in some regard, and I don't exactly agree with what they did, but maybe that's what they could do with the time, like perhaps it was a band-aid fix. I remember in past Destiny iterations, you got to choose between, like, say, a trap smoke, a poison smoke, an invis smoke. So you had 3 options of the same smoke bomb. Nowadays, with aspects and whatnot, they do all 3. I think clone could also be separated into 2 or 3 different types of clones. One that's weak but only provides a radar ping, doesn't have the detonation, the threadlings, anything. One that's like a barricade and takes aggro and PvE and things like that. That would be my ideal clone balancing. I think this was an okay start, but like I said, I think that the specialist builds like Balance of Power maybe deserve to have a faster cooldown in the short term as they think of a better solution with clones in general. Enjoy the clips, friends. I'll see you in the next one. I'm going to post-commentate the first couple of clips, starting with drop a clone, and then get away from it so the first thing they see is the clone, thus drop in their guard. I'm Radiant, 2 burst, and since there's a second player, as long as I land crits, Facet of Solitude, I get Invis, Skulking Wolf, and a Tangle to do whatever I did in the rest of that clip. Moving on, this is going to be an example of using Acrobat Dodge as a dodge, and then conveniently using the Radiant to 3-tap with Frontier's Cry. Now it's Luna's Howl. I mom spaghetti a little bit trying to get that final headshot, but I found it from the hip. Proc Magnificent Howl. Getting a very simple duel. I don't have to land all heads here, but I do. Then I dodge, get some health back from heal clip, procking Mag Howl and Radiant. Get the 2-tap. Hit a lot of yellow numbers, so now I'm invis with a Tangle. And then the new best part is coming up where I use both Mag Howl and a Tangle to combo somebody to death. This is a simple example of Balance of Power. Stormcaller coming around the corner. First thing they see is the clone. They don't know I'm in the corner. I miss and whip my shot, but it doesn't matter. Got to show the interaction. Here's another one here where I make a Tangle from my time to kill with Multi-Mock. Free Tangle means free grapple usage. I try to look for an opportunity for it. Not exactly finding it. Teammates are getting deleted by power ammo. Finally, just decide to go down mid with it, see it's not safe, drop a clone. When the warlocks roll around the corner, they are just focused on that radar ping and clone and have no idea I'm near them. So I get first shots pretty easily and get to take my kill clip and Stylus Executioner somewhere else. No more post commentary. The rest of the video is just going to be shredding with Jorum's Claw. Enjoy. See you in the next. This is making me feel like I should just be going all in on this. This is good. Can we please shoot at the opponent?
Must rise. Wasted. Fire is up. Stoke new flames. Your light is beat. Hunt them down.
Wait, did he die? We are on a schedule. Come on, team. Thank you. Oh, crouching doesn't do anything on walled. Pretty decent.